So I have some news and I'm over the moon about it. For the next few months, I'm going to be working with Arboretum. So Arboretum is this gorgeous garden and home haven, and over the next few months I'm going to be showing you how to grow your own. So I'm going to be basically like the guinea pig, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing and hopefully encourage you if you're new to gardening, or even if you're like a proper gardening aficionado. Maybe I'll give you some inspiration as well, and like encourage you to maybe try something new, try growing something new. And I was making up a plan of what I wanted to do between now and the end of August. Obviously we know I'm going to be sowing lots of seeds. That's what we're doing today. Well, we're going to buy the seeds, just a few, like, and we're going to grow our own food as well. And I would love, if you've never grown anything before, to give growing your own a go, whether it's potatoes or tomatoes or peas. I'm going to show you what I've had success with over the years, and I'm going to show you that you don't need a big garden to do it. So everything that I'm going to grow this year food wise is going to be done in containers because it's what works for me. I don't have veg beds at the moment. Maybe down the road I will. And the food that we grow as well, I want to cook with that. And it's just, tell you now, and I've said this so many times before, there is nothing nicer than picking a tomato fresh off the vine and it's still warm from the sun, and you pop it in your mouth and it's just so tasty. I feel really grateful for this partnership, and I feel like it's a really good fit as well because it's a garden centre that I've come to for years. I'm sitting here like looking at the front of it. I was in this morning kind of filming social media content for them, for their social channels, and lads, they have colour. They've like plants and colour and scent, and I might actually show you what's kind of in bloom and what's in season at the moment, because it's very hard with this. It's just constantly grey all the time, and so we need that little bit of colour in our lives and in our gardens, and they have lots in there. And yeah, I think in today's video I'll give you a little look around. So I'm here in Bridge today. I walked into the inside shop, and they've a lot of seeds. The plan is to sow loads of seeds this year, grow as much as I can from scratch. We're going to grow flowers, we're going to grow fruit and veg, and I'm going to experiment. I want to try and grow things I've never grown before. What are they? I don't know yet. But let's go inside. I'll give you a little look around, and they have summer bulbs in stock. Okay, we're going in, and I'm going to show you what I saw when I came in this morning. So I walked in and I was like, oh look, grow your own. So yeah, I had a veg bed almost exactly like, if not exactly like this one, and it just slots together. You don't have to build it, and I love that. That'd be a great little herb garden, wouldn't it? I'll show you these in a second because they're new to me. If you're growing tomatoes in grow bags, these are called halos. And then if you want to grow kind of at waist height, they have containers like this as well, which is great. And you could also grow things hanging off the side, you know, to really maximise the growing space. Oh, I didn't see these this morning. Look at them. Oh, they're fab, aren't they? They'd be great for strawberries. Like this, actually, that would be a great little herb garden. That wouldn't take up too much space, and like I said, you could grow off the side of it. Is that for watering? Like, look at the little greenhouse. I love these. Like, all you have to do is just put a couple of screws and hang them on. That'd be good for strawberries, wouldn't it? I'm asking you like you're going to answer. It's like, look at this. We've got colour from berries, from the camellias. We've got herbs. So look, Al, loads of summer bulbs. Look at that colour. Don't we need that colour? If you're new to summer bulbs, these little ready to plant kits are brilliant. They're so handy. And then I saw this morning. Look at this. It's ready to plant, and you have red onions. So you have like 3 different types of onions and shallots, and they're all in like almost like an egg carton, and you just put that directly into a container kind of that size. I kind of know some of the bits that I want to grow this year. I'm not going to buy any bulbs today just yet, but I do want to grow gladioli. That looks nice. Oh, see, that's handy, like the pom-pom patio container bits. Love that. And then cherry candy gladioli. Oh, they're gorgeous. I saw these and I fell in love. Like, look at these containers full of colour and foliage and greenery. And I love gifting things like this, either for like birthdays or Mother's Day, as opposed to a bunch of flowers. It's just, you kind of get that bit longer out of them, do you know? They're lovely. And look at the little bulbs coming up now. They have this camellia that smells unreal. It's gorgeous. So it's this one, camellia from Galicia. And I was looking at like the growing conditions. I'd say I could probably put one into my jardin, kind of on the shady border. Isn't it gorgeous to have something that colourful now in the garden? Oh, look at these primroses, like they are just joyful. Look, pure colour and vibrancy. And things like this would be great for just adding that pop of colour into our grey, miserable gardens at the moment. Oh, I like these. They're lovely. I go for, like, in the spring and the winter and that, I go for the really vibrant colours. And then, if you didn't plant any spring bulbs, no worries, because they have loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. So you can have your spring display here. Oh, that just makes me happy. The fact that, like, spring is coming, whether we feel it or not. I have my little microphone here because they play music here. But come here, wait until you see the seeds in here. I'm only going to buy a few. Look. And sorry, I saw this when I came in and I was like, oh, because I started off my growing journey with a plastic greenhouse like this, and it was brilliant. Oh, they're calling it a grow house. Sorry, that's the proper name. But like, you'd be able to fit so many pots and trays in here. Like, I just think that's great value. Do you know, if you're kind of short on space, but if you do want to start sowing seeds, something like that doesn't take up a lot of space because it's not that deep. You know, it's like quite a shallow thing. And then if you see the way at the bottom, it has like the bars there and there. If you weigh those down with sandbags, that's what I did in the past, and it did not budge in any kind of storm. They're really robust. Okay, I'm in seed heaven right now. So let's try to remember what I said I was going to grow yesterday. Carrots. Oh, tomatoes. Definitely doing gardener's delight because I do love them. You look at these, right? So you're looking for ones, well, I am anyway, that says perfect for pots and containers there. That's handy. So it says you sow the seeds February to April, you harvest July to September, sow indoors, perfect for pots, happy days. So if you're unsure when it comes to sowing seeds, it tells you on the back of the packet when to sow, when to harvest, depth to sow them, how far to space them apart, the height. So you'll be able to find something for your space no matter what you're getting. Oh, happy gold. They sound nice. Look at them orange ones. Cherry falls. Golden sunrise. Gardener's delight again. Oh, that might be good. Oh yes, let's do this. Because look, it's for hanging baskets and tubs. Do you know, it'd be kind of, if you had a large tub, like something like this, you could be growing stuff in there, but then you could also have something like this trailing one off the side, because you want to grow and take as much space up as you can, you know. Okay, we have cucumbers and mini munch. I like those. We grew those before. Look at these ones. Indoor and outdoor. And then when it comes to courgettes, what's that? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I've never grown those ones before. Heavy cropping variety. Courgettes are so easy to grow. You get loads. But I've grown the green courgettes before. I've grown the yellow ones. I haven't grown that kind of pale one before. So we'll give that a go. And then we're definitely growing these. Oh, they're adorable. And look, perfect for containers. Okay, great. I've had great success with carrots before, so we're going to do that again. Lots of people like to grow beetroot, but we don't eat it, so there's no point getting it. Spring onions, I have spring onions. Oh, radishes, I wanted to grow that. French breakfast, peas and beans. Let's have a little look. Ooh, I'll grow these. They sound good because look, you can keep them in a pot. So that's how tall the plant will get. Nice to grow something different. Oh, ooh la la, douce Provence. I do want to grow chamomile so I can make chamomile tea. Lemon balm. Because wouldn't that be nice now? Lemon balm tea. Let's grow mint. But I'll tell you about sowing and growing that later on. I've done some damage. So after getting more plant labels, I can label all our plants. I've gotten some of the seed compost. And seed compost, I found, is just the best way for me to sow seeds because it's really finely milled. There's no kind of chunks. Because with the seeds, we want to have something that's finely milled, that's kind of fluffy, to let the seeds sprout and like not kind of give them any issues. I've gotten some of these. They're cell trays. They're great. You know, they'd be brilliant. They're the perfect size for like seeds, like tomatoes and everything. And then I've gotten some of these trays. Have some of these at home, but it's good to have extra to go on top of these to act as like a little greenhouse, so that'll keep the moisture in. I was looking around for some vermiculite, but look what I'm after finding. So look, they have mesh tunnels, poly grow tunnels, like small ones for your veg beds to protect them against any frost. Then they have, that's good, they have the replacement for that if you needed one. Now, I had something very similar to that one. Oh, and they've got the raised bed liner for that. Okay, this is good. They've got like polytunnels as well. That's brilliant. Like, look at this one. You'd be able to grow loads of your own food and plants and everything in that. I do love a big old tray like this because you can, you can add, put water in the bottom, and like if you have lots of different pots, sit them in there so that you're watering from the bottom at once. Oh look, so they have fruit netting. That's good when it comes into the season. Sometimes the birds like to eat the fruit before we get a chance to do that, so you can cover and protect your fruit that way. Okay, we're back at home now and I've all the bits ready to sow some seeds. I did sow my first seeds of the year already so far. So what I did was I wanted to film that for a reel, and I'll just show you what I've sown. So hopefully these are going to be tomato cocktail crush, gardener's delight, tumbling toms, and then in here I did tagetes, because tagetes are great companion planting with tomatoes. And the reason why I sowed them in here is for my mind to remember these will go together, because with tomato plants, aphids love tomato plants. And so I grow tagetes, or else I'll buy marigolds, French marigolds, and what they do is they give off a scent and they attract the aphids. So the aphids get attracted to the tagetes or marigolds, and then they leave the tomatoes alone. I think basil is a good companion plant with tomatoes as well, so I might actually do that this year. Oh, I've never done that. I'll do that this year. I'll just explain kind of how I go about sowing my seeds. I have this seed tray and it's great for mixing up my compost with my vermiculite. So what I did was, I bought some seed and cutting compost, and that's real kind of fluffy. There's no big chunks in it. It's really fine, and that's perfect for sowing seeds because seeds are teeny weeny, absolutely teeny, and you don't want anything like a big clump of bark or wood or anything like that to stop the seed from germinating and then kind of like growing up. We want to make it easy for the seeds so that they can live their destiny. So we have that, and then I've had great success over the years with adding vermiculite into my compost, my seed sowing compost. So this helps to kind of give insulation. Basically says it here. It says it helps maintain moisture, nutrients, and improves seed germination. So you'll see that I mix it in. I kind of pre-mix my compost and the vermiculite together. When I was sowing the seeds earlier, I could feel that the compost was quite damp, so I didn't add any water into it. But if it was like a really hot day or the weather was nicer and your compost was like a little bit dried out, you might want to pre-water the soil, or the compost. So I would add the compost, I'd add the vermiculite, mix, add a bit of water, and you have like a wet texture. I think I'm going to sow. Where's my things? Sorry, I'm really excited about this. Oh, you know me, you know I love sowing my seeds, and I can't wait to fill the garden with colour. I think so many of us have been struggling with the never-ending grey days. My soul needs to sow some seeds. I need to, have life happening now here in the greenhouse. Going to sow some sweet peas in two different ways. So I have this from last year, but you can see that they've got quite long chambers, like that's one chamber. So you can do 4 chambers in here as opposed to seed trays like this, which are like that size. So I'd use those for regular seeds, but for the likes of sweet peas or peas or corn on the cob, they have like a really long root system and they don't like their roots to be disturbed too much, especially the sweet peas. So we're going to do sweet peas in this. And then, because I did buy sweet peas the other day. Did I show you? I didn't show you what I got. So when I was in Arboretum, I got like cucumbers. I got my little Dorit. Do you remember? Because I love that little Dorit. Some cosmos. These are like a mini cucumber. Cute. I got like that cosmos. My mission is to have a garden full of flowers so that if it takes my fancy and I want to go out and pick some and like put them into like a little glass vase, happy days. So got those sweet peas. Douce Provence. Got those peas. Carrots we're going to sow directly. I don't put those in seed trays. They will go wherever they're going to live their destiny. Same with radishes and the same with the herbs. We have loads of sweet peas. You do not need this many sweet peas. I just really want to grow them this year. So got sweet pea memories, platinum jubilee, everlasting mix, Unwin's 120 years, Solway mix, and old fashioned mixed. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make up more of this compost because I'll need it for this, because like that's not going to be enough compost. I just miss this more than you could ever imagine. It says on the back here to use a 50-50 balance. So I don't know if that's 50-50. And don't be at me now. Don't be giving out saying that you need to use gloves. I don't. I need this. The soil in my hands, under my nails. This is lovely. And actually doing this as well, you can kind of break down if any of the, or if your compost has any lumps. So you can really spread this through properly. And then we have these little compartments. So I'm just going to like lash the compost in. I sowed 3 different types of tomatoes and I'm excited about it. They didn't have my sun gold ones, so I'm going to be back down Arboretum. I'm going to be back them next week, so I'll have a look in their other store to see if they have it. So leave this with me. I'm going to keep loading these up and then I'll come back to you. Doing the last one. These take up like quite a bit of compost, but it's worth it in the end because, like I said, with sweet peas, they don't like their roots being messed around with. Like I did learn that the hard way when I sowed seeds in trays before and didn't get a huge amount of success when I went to transplant them. What's good about these is when it comes to the time for transplanting them, all you have to do is open them up and then you'll be able to take out each section. So each plant and their roots and everything like that. You're not going to have to mess around with the roots. When it comes to sweet peas, I've said this before, they're like those brilliant cut and come again flowers. So when you cut them, they'll keep producing more flowers. But if you don't, what will happen is the bloom will then create like what looks like a pea pod where the flower was. And so then when the plant starts setting seed, that's where the energy goes. Rather than the energy going to make new blooms, it's going to set seed. So we don't want that. So we're sorted here now. Now also, if you want, actually, let me try that. Oh, okay, we're going to do sweet peas 3 different ways. I've just decided that. Because the back of the pack just inspired me. The back of the pack says, almost fill 12 centimetres or 5-inch pots with seed and cutting compost. Don't know if that's 5, I don't know. There we go, right, so that's done. This is done. What I love about sweet peas is that their seeds are like a decent size. They're not teeny weeny. I might do 2 per pot, because otherwise this will be used up. Yeah, I'll do 2 just in case if one doesn't germinate. Because this will be a good experiment to kind of see how things work out. Now, can you tell that I'm just happy in my life right now? Because do you know what I'm like? Doing things like this, it's really therapeutic, it's really mindful, but then also like on a miserable day, on the grey days, you're kind of doing not the boring work, because like I love doing this, but you're kind of doing stuff that will help your garden look gorgeous in a few months. Put more compost. Pressing this down gently just to make sure that the seeds have nice contact with the soil. We'll keep this. So whenever you're sowing your seeds, make sure to look at the back of the packet because it tells you exactly what to do to make this or to sow them properly. So with these sweet peas, they need to be covered when you sow them. You press them down a little bit, and they need to be sown, or they need to be covered with more compost. Whereas when I was doing the tomatoes, the back of the seed packet said to cover with a light layer of the vermiculite. So it's like a sawdust kind of texture almost. And hopefully it will just help insulate things a little bit, you know. What I am going to remember to do is to label them, lads. I tell you now, I speak from experience, you will never remember what you have sown where if you don't label them. So I write the name of the plant on one side and then the date that I sowed them on the other side. I have these seed trays that I like to water from beneath. I'm just going to add some water to the bottom and just sit them in like so. Or some people like to soak their sweet peas overnight to help increase the potential for germination. I'm not going to do that though. And just from experience, the back of the packet says to sow these about 1 centimetre deep. Don't push them down until you have everything that you're sowing like in place. Because if you push it down, you'll be like, if you're like me, like, did I put something in there or not? With seeds this big, you can water from above if you want. Like if you have really, really tiny seeds, and like if you have an open seed tray that doesn't have any cells, and you go to scatter the seeds, and then if you put water over them, sometimes the seeds can disperse and it just gets messy. So watering, if you get like those seed trays, watering from beneath is a great way to do that. So okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to sow the rest of these little containers, and then I'll be back to you for the next thing that I'm going to experiment with. Okay, I have this full of sweet peas now, and I'm going to make, even though it's in a greenhouse now, I'm going to give it its own proper greenhouse. That will keep heat and humidity in, and I hope to see you soon. I want to try and do something with the packet. I've seen people doing this with bubble wrap, and I do have bubble wrap as well that I might use. I might just do 2 out of this one. Idea behind the seed snail is that we're going to sow loads of seeds, but not like take up lots of space. Like, so if you are short on space, I'll show you what I mean now. I think it's easier to explain or to show than to explain. And then we're going to roll it up. Not packing it too tightly, just rolling. It's like a little Swiss roll. And then we're going to get a pot and we're going to go yoink. Okay, so that's the end result. You could make your seed snail bigger if you had a bigger pot, but I'm just going to now dot these in. So I'm going to start in the center and then follow that shape. Like every inch or so, I'm just dotting in another seed. So I only put 4 seeds in here just to give it space. Whereas here we're going to have loads. And I think I'm going to try this with the peas and the beans as well. Then all we're going to do is just put compost on the top. I might find some twine later and just tie that up. But like that's our little seed snail. So we'll see how this goes. This is just a mix of leftover sweet peas. Okay, I'm going to do another one for my peas. Like, I wish I could explain just how happy this makes me. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so I tried to fill that seed snail kind of a little bit more than the other one. I really am going to try and properly do succession sowing this year. So the idea of succession sowing is, so like let's say for the peas here, like they're the type of thing that, you know, I love when the family is over and friends over. I mean, come out in the back and just like chomp. And I don't want all the things, like, so if I sow these seeds now, they're not going to last very long. So the idea is that I'm going to sow seeds now and then every 3 weeks for the next little while up until, oh, I can sow them into June as well. Oh, that's grand. You can sow these directly if you want. I think I did that probably the first year that I was gardening, and I just had like random containers and it was just like, sure, I'll give it a go and see. And that's how I have fallen in love with the whole gardening thing, is just by experimenting and trying different things. And when it comes, hopefully now, these will start to sprout. How long do they take to germinate? Usually it's around 3 weeks or so. You best believe I'm going to be out here, like not for the next like week or two, but then I'll be checking all the time, because that is like the best feeling ever, is when you have, you've forgotten that you've sown seeds and then you come out and you see that little green shoot. Just put them here. That if the sun does decide to come out, they'll have a bit of sunshine. Okay, I feel like that was a good day's work. And I've just scraped the surface of seed sowing. I just wanted to get the process going, you know. And I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to put the rest of these seeds away, and I'm just real happy to get things going. And like, to be honest, I've used up a full bag of seed sowing compost, so I need to get more. I hope I've inspired you to start sowing some seeds and to try and grow your own. You don't have to go, like this is, I'm not well in the head. Like that's not normal to have that many seeds. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where this is just the beginning of seed sowing time.